On April 17th, a Chechen was killed in the Belgian city of Liège. Some of the information reported in the media and by eyewitnesses on social media is at odds. A video made by eyewitnesses shows an armed man firing a submachine gun in the middle of the day in a residential area. The man is not Chechen, as some Belgian media reported. It was reported that the murdered man's name was Aslanbek. Many people who knew him described him as a calm and well-behaved man. He was responsive and always tried to help people. He went to a meeting to settle the conflict. He had a wife and children, social media users said. Aslanbek and his comrades tried to resolve the conflict that had occurred earlier between Chechen and Kurdish teenagers. However, about 30 Kurds, wearing black clothing and masks, attacked the Chechens, and one of our compatriots was killed before he could even get out of his car. Several respected international organizations issued a protest to the French authorities about the deportation of Chechen refugee Magomed Gadayev from France to Russia. At the end of March, Gadayev was freed from the French prison of deportation, and a French court prohibited his deportation to Russia. However, in early April, he was arrested by the police again when he came to check in again. He was ordered to report to the police every day until his asylum trial, and he complied with the order. He was deported to Russia on April 9th, the day after his arrest, despite his protests and the gut wound he had inflicted on himself. 2 days after his deportation to Russia, he was seized by the Kadarovsky and Novy Urengoy and taken to Grozny. In their statement, the representatives of 12 human rights organizations note the French government's blatant violation of all international rights and conventions. Gadayev was deported by order of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of France. According to the signers of the letter, Gadayev's fate graphically demonstrates that in no region of Russia can critics of Kadyrov defend their life and freedom. As the letter writers wrote, France has tightened its measures against natives of the Chechen Republic after the murder of French teacher Samuel Paty by a young Chechen in 2020. In recent months, according to information that has become known to human rights activists, France has expelled 8 Chechens, including, in addition to Gadayev, Lezi Artsuev and Ilyas Saduev. Artsuev was also captured by the Kadyrovites upon his return. Public activists are calling for measures to be taken for the return of Gadayev to France and to prevent the deportation of refugees who face the threat of torture, illegal arrests, and physical violence in their homeland. The Chechen law enforcers opened a criminal case against Gadayev for illegal possession of weapons. He signed a statement about the refusal of a lawyer, Simon Svetkov. Thus, Gadayev was deprived of his right to defense, but it is impossible to prove this legally. A Chechen prisoner apologized for a story about threats by local authorities to deprive anyone who refuses to vaccinate against coronavirus of their pension. An elderly man from the village of Goiti had previously circulated an audio message that received a wide response. Many people in the Republic have already heard about threats to take away people's pensions and benefits and to fire the unvaccinated from their jobs. For quite a few families in the region, the pension of a household member is the only source of income. I said some bad words in the post. Relatives, friends, and the Republic, I ask you to forgive me. The appeal I am making now. No one is going to not give me this pension. Whether there is vaccination or not, everyone will get a pension. I'm very ashamed. Russian newspapers cite the Chechen. As a rule, such penitential messages of apology appear after representatives of the Kadyrov regime have voiced their threats to the speaker or his loved ones. The comments on news reports with such clips are full of evidence. People in various parts of the region are threatened with various sanctions and deprivation of income for refusing to take the vaccine. This seems to be the only motivation to use the Sputnik V vaccine for Chechens. The Russian parliament rushes to the aid of Kadyrov's Akhmat Club. The State Duma's Sports Committee has approved tax and financial support for the Akhmat Soccer Club. It should be recalled that at the end of last year, America imposed sanctions against this club, also the fighting club Akhmat, which resulted in economic losses. Some sponsors refused to cooperate with the club. To compensate for the losses, the State Duma plans to ask the Russian government to support Akhmat. The Russian protege in the Republic, Ramzan Kadyrov, was also put on the sanctions list last year for many crimes against human rights.